In this problem 8 in the review, we are told that the time it takes to complete a task is exponentially distributed with a mean of 16 minutes. Okay, in other words, mu equals 16. And we'll define x as the time it takes to complete the task, also measured in minutes. We're working with an exponential probability distribution, so it's probably important that we recall what the PDF of this probability distribution looks like. This is f of x equals 1 over mu times e to the power of negative x divided by mu. And this applies to all x that are greater than or equal to 0. And if you're wondering what this looks like graphically, we've got some probability distribution that has some sort of exponential decay, or the shape of exponential decay. And suppose that we are asked, what is the probability that the time it takes to complete this task is between 12 and 14 minutes? In other words, we're asked to find the area in this probability distribution function that's between 12 and 14. And maybe I'll use green here, so it's this area here. Okay. Now a nice thing to know with this probability is that this is going to equal the probability that x is greater than or equal to 14 minus the probability that x is, or I'm sorry, I meant to say that x is less than or equal to 14 minus the probability that x is less than or equal to 12. And we can essentially just plug in the numbers into our probability distribution function. So this first step would look like this. Be 1 minus 1 over 16 let's see. Oops, excuse me. Let me backtrack here for a second. Let me write this actually down on the next page. Okay, so the probability under an exponential probability distribution that x is less than or equal to some specific value of x naught is equal to 1 minus e to the negative x naught divided by mu. Okay, now let's plug that in. So the probability that x is less than or equal to 14 will equal 1 minus e to the negative 14 divided by 16. The probability that x is less than or equal to 12 equals 1 minus e to the negative 12 divided by 16. And so we have something here where essentially, remember, we're saying the probability that x falls between 14 and 12 is equal to the probability that x is less than or equal to 14 minus the probability that x is less than or equal to 12. This is equal to 1 minus e to the negative 14 over 16 minus 1 minus e to the negative 12 over 16. Perhaps we could simplify this. So 1 minus 1 will cancel out. and subtracting this portion here yields a positive number. So this is e to the, and let me simplify this as well. E divide both sides by, or both the top and the bottom of this fraction by 3 gives us negative 4, negative 3 fourths minus e to the negative 7 eighths, which approximately equals 0.0555. In other words, the area of this green portion here is 0.0555, or we could think about this as a 5.55% probability that the time it takes to complete this task will be between 12 and 14 minutes.